children were. Their house to me is like going to be the nicest decorated house on the street. The couple doors down, there's somebody else usually decorates their house pretty good too. But and they're Hispanic, but all the Hispanics decorate theirs. I usually decorate mine, but I know I'm not going to decorate this year. Um, I'm not. But I'm going to call this gaslighting and the burn test. Okay. So gaslighting is when you when you propose things, and this is in my words. If you got a better definition, let me know. I'm sure if I look it up, I could do a better definition of it. But gaslighting is when you make people think they're crazy, and or make them think that basically that's what it is. So I'm gonna tell you what happened. So like I said, I watch TikTok a whole lot, and I think everything is for the good. Like I said, I've been banned. I don't know for what reason. All I do is repost on there, but I probably reposted something somebody didn't want reposted, or reposted like something. Excuse me. Something that happened with violence or something, and they may have deemed it overly violent. But anyhow, because of that, when I've been going through late night, usually I scroll through TikTok and just duet, which is basically for me to do it as repost because I don't put my face on there. But just repost it and make sure the person who it originally belonged to is tagged. But there's this girl on there that's like Vietnamese and black, right? And like I said, there was a girl I met in Atlanta that was Vietnamese and black a while back, but she had just came from Vietnam. We were like 20 something. She didn't speak any English. But anyhow, she was in a live with this dude. It was just her and the dude and a bunch of people that were in the comments. I was one of the people in the comments. And so I had something that I want to say, but I didn't feel like typing it all out. But the bad thing was that I was really in low spirits, And so when I got on there to speak and I felt comfortable, the only reason I felt comfortable is because she was there. And again, the assumption that I made because somebody's black and Asian like I am. And when I watched her on other people's lives and how she would say, she seemed like she was really caring where people would say stuff that was mean about, she was caring about it. And she was saying how, because somebody said it was about race, and they were saying how they were basically, and she would never let on that she's Vietnamese and black. The reason I found out was because during this conversation about race, did I pass my house? No. During this conversation about race, so I'll show you where we were going. So I was walking down here where the lights are on the left that you can kind of see a little bit at the house. That's where those weird ass guys were. And I can't even call them guys. They sincerely look like teenagers to me. But I'll keep talking and I'll tell you about it when I get there. But yeah, so talking about race, and the room was full of like militant black people where they were just like talking down on other races and how, and then the girl said, well, if my mom heard that, first she was just trying to take up with it without putting out the fact that she was Vietnamese and black in there, that she was biracial. But she was like, if my mom heard that, she'd be so mad. And so then one of the guys was like, well, where are you from? And she let it out that she was Vietnamese and black, and it was so weird because that's why I really related to that, because black folks, when they get together by themselves, they talk so bad about other races, and people are biracial. You have parents of that race, but you saw what it did to me today. So this is a house, and I had walked across this field earlier. I'm walking a long way, of course, because it's dark. So and I'll reenact a part of it now. So normally, and with the Hispanic people, you don't know, it's more than one household probably. But normally what'll happen is I'll walk to where this pole is, right? And once I get to this pole, I typically, and this is where I was earlier, and this is where they were. Mostly when I get to this pole, I'll make a right and then I'll make a left at the corner. But because when I got right here, that's when they all started blowing whistles and acting stupid and, looking at me and knowing that they made eye contact and, still being weird about the shit. That's why I crossed right here. Normally I don't cross right here. Normally I cross at the corner, right? And that's what I say, I think different households, because those young boys or people, whatever, they, they had a whole different vibe and energy. That person that just walked out, probably because I'm talking loud, that felt like a family household. I don't know where those boys came from, but all the Hispanic people out here stick together. But so yeah, so she mentioned that she was Vietnamese and black because of that. Because when she said my mom, if my mom heard that, she really wouldn't appreciate that. And so he was like, "Is your mom from somewhere else?" And she was like, "Yeah, Vietnamese and black." And so that's when I started feeling everything she's saying. And then the people were arguing in there, and she was like the voice of peace. And I was like, "Wow, that's wonderful, right?" So that night I was up like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was up until like 4:35, right? I think this is Sunday night, and and so I forgot what we were talking about. Something happened, and I wanted to speak on it. And I spoke, we talking about foods and stuff. And I felt comfortable because she was there, and I knew that she always kept the peace. And and I had told her, we were talking about favorite foods, and I was like, how I love curry and all this, that, and the other. And I was like, because I knew that she was Vietnamese and black, I said, well, my mom's Korean. I would really like to get back into eating kimchi and stuff like that. And I was like, I know you're Vietnamese and black. I went to a Vietnamese restaurant once and it was really good. But I've also went to one that had a bad experience. I was telling her about how I went to the falls. And this is the thing, when I talk too much and people are not receiving. So I was telling her I went to this restaurant at the falls and I had like a soft shell crab dinner plate, and I never had soft shell crab before. And she was like, "Oh, well, that's really not a Vietnamese thing." And it made me second guess myself, like, well, that's really not a Thai thing. It was Thai soft shell crab. And she was like, "That's really not a Thai thing, that's not even a Thai thing." And I said, and then it made me second guess myself. And I was like, well, what's that? Well, it must have been Vietnamese then. And then she gaslit me even more. Oh, well, those are two different cultures. Well, I don't know, but I was feeling so low, I didn't even push back on it. I let it go, you know. And then, when I started talking about my mom, I started getting emotional. And I was like, this is why I don't do live, because, and I wasn't, it brings about feelings. So she gaslit me on that too. And then I said, I want to get kicked out of the live box because I don't want to be talking on here no more. And so it was like, basically, maybe the guy was trying to get me out that was running it. But I think basically he ended up having to turn it off and having to bring us back in. And so when I went back in, and this guy, I think that when she was talking to him one on one, they had a cool vibe, and she's real smart. She was pushing it off like, oh, she's his sister or whatever. And there was people that was in the comments that were trying to holler at him, and they were getting mad at her because it's like, oh, only she can get in here, such and such and such. She was like, no, anybody can. That's like my brother. And she was saying that what she was doing was testing him out, right? And so I didn't have any type of intentions like that. I just need somebody to talk to. Basically, is while I was there, and I saw her, and that was the only reason I came on, was to speak to her because other Asian and black people. But so then the girls were hitting on him and trying to fight her verbally in the comments, make her uncomfortable. And she's like, I'm not in the game, blah blah blah. And so then somebody said something, and I was like, oh, I made some kind of comment, but it was about that person encouraging that person to, do whatever she was going to do to flirt with him. And then the Vietnamese girl, I keep saying Vietnamese, she's Thai. The Thai girl was just like, she tried to make it like I was flirting with him. I was like, no, that's not me. It's not for it's not for me. It was about that other girl, but I couldn't even voice that. I was just so done. And then, yes, I really took a L on that one because then she turned it around and flipped the script so that that would be the narrative. I was like, no. But yeah, I'm almost home. It's very comforting to see these lights. But again, I remember last Christmas, and I walked past and it's all the Hispanic people. I'll let y'all see. It's pretty cool. See? Nice. All the Hispanic people. I'm not doing mine this year. I'm not in the Christmas spirit, so I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I'm gonna sit in the cozy darkness and without the Christmas lights. But yeah. Ooh, they even put Santa on the roof this year. You can't see it from this far back. That's cool. But I'm not doing any of that. None of that. It looks like he's in a bathtub, but he's on a sleigh as a reindeer. But yeah. So I don't know. Everything seems really weird, but I think I just need to take a couple steps back. I don't really know how to approach it. I think I need to approach it the way that I've been, but also, the learning lessons from it. Like I said, I think that I didn't portray what I saw, the way that I would have liked it to be. And I saw something important about myself, shrinking to grow, and I need not to shrink. I need to be full force who I am in that moment, and take it or leave it. And no, it's called pandering, is what it is. When you shrink to grow, when you shrink yourself to please or appease somebody else, you know, pandering is what it's called. It's a form of pandering. I don't know if it's really direct pandering, but yeah, today was a weird day. But like I said, it wouldn't have been a big deal to me if that lady had not put her hands on me. It would not have been a big deal to me because I would have just been like, what else is new? I would not have made a big deal out of it. But because that happened, I felt like, you know, needed to address it. So all the loud music is gone. That's surprising. Very surprising. I thought they were gonna be out here all night, but it's cold. It's cold out here. But those people weren't standing on the corner like that until that dude got out of jail. I had a lot to do this weekend, but I don't know. At least I was up and I was doing it. I could have done absolutely nothing this weekend, but that's not what I did. I I worked towards whatever I was doing. But I'm glad. I'm thankful. I'm gonna thank God. I'm thankful for that situation today. Because if that situation had not have happened, um, I would still feel that I was at a certain level of safety out here, but I'm not. And without that level of stuff happening, I would still feel hurt, about my mom. But it's very obvious these people don't care about me. So I'm thankful for that realization. I am.